Hey, hey, hey. The OK Show on Thursday. Rod
Yo, what
and
up?
Iceman. Tao po, Ian, I think left.
Wow, was he on board?
I think he was minutes ago,
Okay.
and no one answered.
Yeah, it's like two
Right? That's
minutes
what
ago.
happens. That's
So
what
what happens?
happens. Like, yeah, I mean, if somebody's knocking on your door, if nobody shows up for 2 minutes, I think they leave.
He's
Hey,
Canadian time. We're Filipino time, in case you forgot. So it's back to
is he
Filipino
in
time.
Canada?
He's home. He's home.
All right.
Yeah, he's home. He just got home. I just found out too. I mean, he tried calling me earlier. I was preoccupied. So yeah, we're gonna get to talk to him or at least chat with him on the show. Maybe we'll let him join in and let him tell us about the life in Canada or the Canadian life. Since I guess officially he is already a Canadian citizen, so he is Canadian.
Hey, Diego,
Yeah, and have
having dinner?
yeah, he's having his late dinner. Was it late? I guess it's not really late, but almost skipped dinner. Almost forgot. There, good job. All finished. Look at that. Yeah, it's showing how you were last week with your tonsils and stuff.
No, it wasn't. I thought it was coming down with the flu, but then I realized it's actually it's allergy season. It's autumn, so it's fall, and I didn't realize that it's starting. So my throat kind of was like was off, and I have the um, runny nose, so it's terrible. And
Is that what hay fever is? I don't know what hay fever is.
it's
What
hay
is it?
fever.
Oh, that's
That's what
hay
it is.
fever, right?
Hay
Okay, so
fever.
that's hay fever. Okay.
Right. So we call it Kahun show. And I thought I was coming down with a flu. I was like, oh, maybe it's a flu. But then I realized it's been 10 days and it's not getting any better.
Oh
I
man.
still have this like runny nose. My eyes are okay, but my throat, it's not really my throat. It's, right below the nose. Like,
Okay, I got it. That
at the
like the
mouth.
nasal. Yes, it's itchy.
Yeah,
Is it itchy?
right over there.
Yeah, I always
It's
get
not
like.
itchy. Yeah, I think it's not painful, but it's itchy. It's
Okay.
it's something off. It's not normal.
Yeah, you probably ate like kinilaw and the
No, 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 no.
fish wasn't fresh.
No,
That's what happens to me when I eat like kinilaw or panga and it's not fresh. It gets
it's the
itchy like on my on the top of my tongue, on the top of
it's the
my
season,
upper
man. It's
mouth.
the season. Sometimes I get attacks during spring, but it's the leaves are turning red, and that's it's officially autumn season. So it's getting cold, and that's when it starts for people.
Got it.
Um, it's terrible.
Well,
So
you
I
feel
still
better
have
now.
it, but
You're
well,
good now.
I take antihistamines, and it makes you feel better. But I mean, still something's off when you have it, and some people have it worse. Like I have tissues everywhere, and when I go to school, I have those expensive ones, the lotion tissues, because my nose
Start to
would
peel, get
bleed.
irritated.
Yeah,
You get
yes.
irritated. That happens. I have that like almost every day, man. That's an everyday thing for somebody with allergic rhinitis. That's an everyday thing for me, which I think is also a form of hay fever. I get that all the time. Super like teary eyed, and then like I can't breathe, and I sneeze like nonstop. I go sneezing like exactly what you
Right.
experience. But I experienced that whether it's winter season or just like regular Philippine season. I never experienced it, like I said, I never experienced it in the States though, which is weird because we have winter there. I never experienced that. I never had allergies in the States. I know a lot of my schoolmates, they always go through this poison ivy stage where you touch a particular plant or leaf or whatever, and you get like all the rashes and all that stuff. And all my classmates, all my schoolmates had that. I never had poison ivy. I don't know if Filipinos are immune to it because I don't recall a Filipino schoolmate ever experiencing the poison ivy thing. And there's also this thing called the hives, right? Which is maybe you experience it there in Japan, which is stuff that
When I first got here, I had hives, but it's been a long time
is
since
that
I had
dupang?
that.
Is that what dupang is?
I think that's what we call dupang or
Okay.
dupong. We would call it dupong, but yeah, the
Is there
dupong.
is there a
And
Tagalog term for it? Because dupang sounds Bisaya,
I have no idea.
and you have to rub it with hair and stuff.
That's what they say, but I don't think it works.
I remember you had dupang, and then I think I had dupang like a week after, and so I was thinking maybe we went to the same place.
True, true.
Maybe it's because
But
that was the time when we were like
yeah, I didn't know anything about allergies, right? So I thought like, why do I have these things? And I was just like, I don't know how you. And people would say like, oh, sa hangin na.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Sa
Things like
hangin.
that.
Yeah, sa
Sa hangin,
hangin.
sa
I'm
hangin.
like,
Like,
what?
really? And
Really?
I'm the only one who's getting it, and everybody else is
I
okay,
know. I know. You're like, what?
right?
And then there's different air where I am. I mean, that's crazy.
Exactly.
You know.
So when
And
I
who
got
died and
here,
made you a doctor?
exactly. So when I got here, I found out that all right, allergies. It's sometimes you get hives, sometimes you get the rhinitis. So
Hey, we have an attorney in the house. Hi, attorney Riza Chavez Pinon, who is now
Riza
a mommy,
Chavez.
so
All
she can
right.
relate. She can relate. I hosted their wedding. Her husband's also a lawyer. They're both lawyers, and yeah. So
Was that the wedding last Saturday, or was it like the two
no, no,
weeks
no.
ago?
Those were doctors. Those they were both
Right.
doctors. The one I
They
hosted
were
last
both
Saturday.
doctors.
So
Like okay, Reese's like a lawyer.
yeah.
Um, so
Yeah, and next week I'm hosting a wedding of a barker ng jeep. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm like I just to just to show you that I cater to every market. But doctor, lawyers, barker ng jeep. Hey, 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 hey. Say hi
this
to
was the
Tito Ice.
hello, Dimple. I know you want to be a radio DJ someday or a podcast or whatever, but you gotta wait your turn, man. You gotta wait your turn.
Yeah, you gotta wait. See, you gotta wait your turn. Don't be like Daddy. I'm a bad example. I don't wait my turn.
Yeah,
Okay. Yeah, there. You gotta wait
yeah,
your
that's
turn.
fine. That's fine.
Yeah, he's
I
gonna do his
know.
own. It's a one man show. He's gonna do his own show, and his sidekick's gonna be deaf mute. So it's only gonna be him.
I think that's the best practice. I think the best way to start a talk show is to be doing it by yourself first before you actually
You
have
gotta
a
go. You gotta go.
partner.
Yeah,
Because I
and
think when
you know where our studio is? Like for when you do it, you're either in your car or
Mhm.
somewhere, right? I'm sure you did your ad libs. You practice your ad libs while you're in the car, right? Or you're driving. I
I did
always
it
like.
everywhere. I did it in the hallways of Ateneo. Hi, bags.
There's my
Hello.
tandem, my partner.
Which one?
Yeah.
The little one.
All of them. They're all my partners.
All of them. All right.
Depends on the mood. But yeah. So yeah. So we yeah we
So I
yeah. I
think
guess
some
that's a
people
good
thought I
idea.
was crazy back in the day because I would be walking around Ateneo and I'd be talking to myself. I'd be talking about several topics, and sometimes it's probably if it's not too loud from afar, people would know that I'm talking to myself or I am actually opening my mouth and I'm saying something. So
Yeah.
that would still be crazy if there's somebody who's looking from afar, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And if they're just right behind me, and if even if I'm like like sort of whispering, but then it's like I'm actually saying a prayer or something, then that would still come off as weird. People would
Yeah.
be like thinking that is this guy weird? Is he praying? Is he like is he having a panic attack or something? Or is he like a psycho? I mean,
Yeah.
you
That's
can
not
think
that's
about these
not
things.
that far from being a lawyer though, because like well, at least based on my experience with my mom, witnessing her when I'm hanging out in her room, because I'm always I grew up with my mom and my grandmother. So my mom, before like a court hearing, she would always be in front of the mirror smoking her Philip Morris, and she'd always be like, Your
Yeah, but
Honor.
she's a
She's like,
lawyer. That's
yeah, but she's
fine.
talking to herself, and I'm always like laughing at her. I'm like, I didn't say weird because I don't think the word weird
Yeah,
existed back in the '80s, but I was like,
but like a
"Nano ka, ma?"
college kid, lanky college kid, like in the
Yeah,
South
yeah,
of
yeah.
nowhere,
That's
walking
different.
around the
That's
campus,
different.
like just like
And that was
this
just in our
guy is
house.
something.
That was
All
just
right,
in our
yeah,
house.
right.
Yeah. But I do see a lot of guys like that, older men, usually unshaven, scruffy looking. They're
Right, right,
carrying around
right. That's what I'm saying.
carrying around a
That's what I'm
bag,
saying.
like
Yes,
a
and they just
attache
walk into
case,
themselves.
and they're like they have like an unwashed like 3 piece suit, and they're walking around like they're some
Right.
frustrated attorney, or they failed the bar 10 times or
Not
something, and
so
they're like,
different from those people.
yeah. You're closer to those guys than. I get it.
Exactly.
I get it. But that's, you got to practice it. You got to
Yeah,
practice it because that's,
I know.
it's important, man. You got to, when I guested at this podcast, the Cross Court podcast
Okay,
with,
okay.
they asked me, well, didn't ask me, but I shared a little background about like how I got the radio and all that stuff. And, like how long I've I lived in the States and how long I've been in the Philippines since, and I'm like, you know what? Hey, you gotta lubricate your tongue, man. You gotta make sure that what process you process in your mind, you can speak and have it exit out of your mouth properly. And if you don't practice it, like you don't open your mouth, because I remember you, I think you were the one who mentioned it, or somebody mentioned that you guys went through some exercises where you were biting pencils, and you had to bite a pencil and like say a word so that you can actually pronounce English
No,
words.
that wasn't me.
Okay, that was
That was
someone
probably
else.
Pinky.
But their
That probably was
exercise was
Pinky.
like they had to bite a pencil, and they're like, okay, all right. Her name is Kaka. So that was, I don't know if that was
I don't see the
effective.
point of that.
Me too. I don't,
I
maybe
would just like tell people to read loud, open your mouth. Why would you like bite something and start talking? That would be stupid. Like that's I
I,
mean,
I
how can you
think
talk?
I think it's for those who like 'cause some people don't really open their mouths. Like they're kind of conscious about when they speak in another language. Like maybe if it's English or something, they
Right.
kind of mumble or
Then
murmur.
if you're
So
biting
it's
on something, you can't open your mouth, can you?
no, but it I guess it trains you to like speak with that the mouth already pre-open because with radio it's different because like if I'm talking to you like in front of my or face to face it would be like hey Iceman it doesn't matter but with radio it's like like today's best music Magic 89.1 it makes a difference when you speak and you really open your mouth. I think that was something I learned much later. I think I learned that while watching air checks of DJs in the States. And I would look at them and they speak normal English when they're doing interviews, but when they're doing plugs or they're doing like their opening or whatever, they're always like, hey, you got Dave Styles. And they're always like, their mouth's always open. And it's like part of the modulation process because if it's like, hey, my name's Rod Rodriguez, NU 107. If it's NU 107, that's cool. If it's a pop radio station, you have to open your mouth. If it's Iceman, he doesn't have to because he already has that volume. He already has that modulation thing. Come here. Okay. All right. So I don't know what you guys went through though. When you went through the training, but I didn't go through any of that. It's like sariling discarte. So for those wondering how to do it, I don't know if the trick works, but I did hear about the pencil biting thing and newspaper article reading thing and smiling. Smiling, I also learned. I killed a bee already. I didn't learn that in my previous radio stations. You have to smile. Did you have to smile when you do radio plugs? Or at least recorded commercials and you had to sound happy? Does it
I
make a
didn't
difference?
I didn't do much of those back in the day. I hated it because my voice is not for production. My voice is basically for conversation,
Same
talking.
here,
That's
man. We
my
hated
strong
that
point.
stuff. We both hated
So
that stuff. We
when
were like,
nobody really asked me to do productions. I did a few voiceovers in K91, but that was it. Then even in Killer Bee, I wasn't really asked to do some productions. I think they know that I don't have the best production voice, so I think
yeah.
I only did a couple, or I don't know, like except for those times when we did have
Yeah.
promos, when we have to record our voices for our, I don't know. I
Can
think
you
we did that like
explain
half a
that? Like,
show.
what's the production voice? Like, just based on your understanding, or based on your experience. Like, what's a
A
production voice for you,
production
which you
voice.
don't have, you think? And I don't think I have it as well.
Okay, now it really really depends on, I mean, what the production is, right? Because if you talk about production, it could be so many things. It could
But
be
the
about,
standard, like the generic,
well,
like
standard. If you're just doing voiceovers like a VO, then that's, like you look for those. But then, like, again, the standards now are different. Back in the day, it's like we look for people who has the Chris Paula voice, right?
yeah, like
The Rick Dees type of
baritone, kind
voice.
of really
But
deep, kind
now
of.
that's not the case. That's not the case. Whatever appeals to the audience, it doesn't matter. That's the standard these
It has
days.
to be
Although,
the DJ voice or the announcer voice has to be somebody who's relatable. Can't be somebody who's like a person of
right,
authority all the
right,
time, right? Because back then it was a person of
right.
authority. It had to
Okay,
be like, hey.
right. But then, if you talk about commercials now, because commercial is considered a production, then that it's so mixed now. Like, it depends on what they're trying to pull. But when we're talking about like radio IDs, radio, whatever, radio promos, then maybe I would have to say that still the standard would be, those who have, like really solid and deep voices, right? I would go for that any day. But if we're talking about like commercial productions, like, promotions and stuff, then it would really depend on what the product is, and it's, it can be whatever. But if we're talking
Yeah.
about like station IDs, radio plugs and whatnot, then I would have to say it should be right? The
The
Chris Paula, Rick D's type of voice, or
the
like Carlos's voice.
the very like the very like processed, not processed, but very like clean kind of just
Mr.
consistent.
Bass, the
Yes,
Mr.
done
Bass voice, right?
very
Oh my god,
consistent, very
like his
consistent.
voice is like so much power.
It like it goes through a processor already, even though it hasn't yet. So I actually kind of want to ask Attorney Riza if she's still on board. Because obviously, she's a lawyer, her husband's a lawyer, and lawyers do a lot of like public speaking, or at least in the court, they do a lot of deliberation and
You want
stuff.
to ask her if she's
Um,
modulating in court?
no,
Like,
no,
oh,
no, no. I want to know if like
I
because
object, Judge.
we
I
had public
object.
speaking, right? You had because you're marketing.
Anything
I
from
manage it. We had public speaking, right? Was that
we did.
what was that English 21?
Learn from it.
Was that English 21?
Yeah, I mean,
That
yeah,
was English
it was
21, right?
21, I
Okay.
think.
So
It was. It
so
was.
for those who took up law or lawyers, I mean your sister's taking up law. I mean, I'm sure they probably have subjects where it focuses on that because it's important, and the language of choice when you are in court, at least in the Philippines, as far as I'm concerned, is not usually English, right? I'm not sure if you can speak or allowed to speak in Tagalog or Filipino or Bisaya or whatever in certain cases, but in most cases it's in English because the books and the laws are interpreted and the reports and stuff that you have to make references to, they're in English, right? The cases that you make references to, they're all delivered in English. So I guess the formality of it is in English. So I want to know, like, the law students, because the bar exam, if correct me if I'm wrong, is written, right? And I think handwritten, if I'm not mistaken. At least back in the day, that's what my mom told me. So I don't know if you guys go through an interview, if that counts or whatever. Do they even bother to find out how you speak or how you are able to defend your case in court? What are the subjects, or what is the training, or what are the courses that a law student would be taking up or go through to sort of prepare them for that aspect of the career where you're speaking, right? Because the paperwork, the research, that's one thing, but the actual court action, especially the ones that we see on TV or in movies, like my cousin Vinny, it usually, for us at least as laymen, it seems like it's the make it or break it. It's like the deal breaker for the case when the lawyer is really good at deliberation and delivering his defense or whatever. I mean, that's how they kind of make it appear in movies. You rarely see the research aspect. You rarely see the paperwork. You rarely see all that stuff. It's usually like during the hearing, just like the Johnny Depp situation with that cute defense lawyer. Forgot her name, but
Vasquez.
Vasquez. What's her name? Camila. Okay, see, Roger remembers. My son has incredible memory. I'm telling you. Yeah, like her, like Camille, or however she did it. She was excellent. I think she didn't come off as bitchy. She didn't come off as she came off as somebody who knew what she was doing and what she was talking about. But she also came off as somebody who was just stating the facts. She didn't really let her mood affect her statement, which not the same can be said about the defense lawyer, who came off as kind of, like I don't know, she seemed kind of angry or at least sarcastic at times. That was my impression. So, Riza, if you can, let us in on that, or maybe Ice, you know what Kakai's taking up, right?
She's more studying. I think it's more studying than whatever. And from what I know, I don't think you have like. I think it sucks because from what I heard, even from Pinky, that there are a lot of professors who doesn't really give you. I mean, they're actually good professors, right? So it really depends. But from what I heard, there were a lot of professors who are, in a way, I don't know, like how would I describe them? They're not really nice, right?
Okay.
And they're like probably borderline assholes. Like they would just like embarrass you the whole time. Their mission in life is to just embarrass you, like insult you, throw insults, just like, and it's terrible because, like they're trying to take away the confidence of the students.
Maybe that's to
You
toughen
know,
you up. That's to prepare you for what's to come. I mean,
well,
hey,
I would understand if you're talking to like like what teenagers and whatnot, but you're talking to adults. Like these people
That's
are
true.
adults, right? And you treat them like kids. It's kind of like I don't see the point. So my sister would like name people or like, oh, this professor's really nice, like um, very reasonable. One of them is like, yeah, Justice, like he used to be, like, and
Hmm.
he was like, oh, he's one of those guys who would, who appears like he's not mad at the world. You know what I'm
Yeah, yeah,
saying?
yeah, yeah,
Hindi
yeah,
galit sa mundo.
yeah.
And there are
No chip on
people who
his
are like,
shoulder, right? No chip on his
yes,
shoulder.
because
Yeah.
there are people who are there, and it feels like they want to punish everybody in the classroom. It's
Wow.
like they probably had a hard time finishing law, and now that
They're
they're
getting back
lawyers,
at
they're like,
the
"Fuck
students. Yeah,
you! I'm
yeah,
gonna give you the hardest time in the world."
yeah, yeah.
Like there are people who so. Like I think I wouldn't have.
Okay. Anyone out there? Is it me that's frozen, or is it ice? I want to know. Is it my internet that's screwy, or is it ice? Because ice just stopped. Like, so if you guys can hear me and see me moving, that means my internet's fine. Ice is kind of going through internet breakup, at least from my end. So ice, okay.
Right.
Hey, my sister-in-law is on board. So it's you're the one who's frozen, or you were frozen for a bit. Ice, not me.
Right. So was that my internet? Could have been my internet. I was like trying to
According to eyewitness reports coming from my end, I mean literally, like,
it was
you know,
me. Was it me?
from a Davao, member of the audience.
So I froze. Yeah, it was probably
Maybe
me. And
maybe in
then
Japan, or unless you were just pulling my leg and you're just pretending, you're just going, and it was like moving.
yeah, I pretended. No, I mean just probably the internet. Yeah, I've been having this lately. It would, like I don't know, restart for some reason, whatever. But yeah, so I mean, if I have those type of professors, I would lose the motivation to stand up and talk. So there's no way I can practice, like what do you
But
call it, recit, like
But though, you know your capacity and you know your capability. And if you are confronted by somebody who, even though they are a person of authority, even though they have a
no,
higher
no, no, no.
position than you,
This is
you
different.
have
This
that
is different.
swag about you. You kind of
Yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah. But this is different because these people are like, these people have, like they have bar IDs. They are like law. What do you call that? Like board. Like what do you call it? Like board. What's that? Like
board
bar
passers.
exam. Yeah, they're bar passers. They have
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that bar whatever. They have that bar membership, and
yeah.
that's a
So
big deal to them. Well,
so
it
they're
is a
not
big deal.
they're not a notary public. They're legit. They're attorneys at
They're
law.
legit, and they'd be like, I'm a lawyer, blah 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 blah. And so it's like, who gives a fuck? I mean, it's the same as being a doctor. I mean, I know you're a lawyer. Like, who's saying you're not? And of course, I recognize the fact that it's hard to get that. You have to go through, like a lot of shit to become a lawyer. I respect that, right? But for you to punish all these people who wants to be like you is kind of silly.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Like,
but you have to understand though, a lot of these people, I'm not saying that that's why they aspire to be one of those, top career people, like, doctors, lawyers, well, what have you, engineers, whatnot. It's, a lot of these people, that gives purpose to their existence. You take that away, they're probably not artistic. They probably don't have any skills. They're probably not personable. They're probably, and it's the only thing that will define them. And hence, once they get to that stage, that's sort of like when their life begins. So
right.
this is the only time I can actually be, because my wife would always talk about that. Like, she would have these batchmates in high school or college, and they would be like, I don't know if you call them wallflowers, wallpaper, whatever the heck you want to call them. But my wife would be like, I mean, she's not, my wife's not saying she's better than any of them. But my wife was like Miss Interims, Miss Nursing, all that stuff. So she had friends. She could hold her own. But she had like friends back then where she said like, di man yan siya ganyan noon. And then now, like, let's say, naging nurse na, or naging ano na, naka-states na, yumama na, whatever the heck. And all of a sudden, she's like this celebrity on social media. And my wife's like, hola, she changed, whatever. And I always tell my wife, I'm like, it's probably because back then, they didn't have the resources. And it's exactly what Khabib Nurmagomedov said. I already quoted him before. I already said that before. This UFC fighter who beat Conor McGregor. And you know, they're saying that because people are saying that Connor's like he's all cocky and all stuff, and Khabib said that money and power doesn't change people; it shows who you truly are. It is just that it cannot manifest itself because you don't have the resources for you to be who you really are. So you see the real person when they have a lot, not when they have nothing. Because when people have nothing, they're beggars, and beggars can't be choosers, and they'll always take the limelight. They're not going to be in the spotlight. They're always going to be, right? But once you have that power, once they have that authority, once they get that, that title, all of a sudden, aha, and that's probably the case
True
with. I'm not
stuff comes
saying,
out.
yes,
True
I'm not
stuff
saying.
comes out.
I'm not saying all of those like same with being a DJ, dude. It's not that different from how
Exactly.
these professor
That's what I was
jerks
about to
jerk,
say. That's what I was
right?
about to say. Like when I became a DJ, the newbies are very much welcome. I was never that person who would like scream at them or like tell them like you're not good enough or whatever. I don't give a shit. I'm like, right, okay, I'll teach you how to do whatever, like how to push buttons, how to turn on the mic, how to whatever. But I will not control you. I will not tell you how to do your job. You're a radio DJ. It's a
Yeah,
personality thing. Like you
yeah,
go on air, it's a person. You can't have my personality. I can't have other people's personality. I can't be telling you like, oh, you do this and you'll be successful. No, I can't. I can't. I can't say that to them,
that's true.
right?
That's true.
And I
Yes.
welcome the challenge. I welcome the challenge. If they're good, then the better, because that's a very good challenge for you. That's that. That's that's a challenge for you to prove to yourself that like you can you can sell yourself no matter who's the competition. I always look at it that way. Whereas, like with other people, like there was this one guy that I worked with,
Mm-hmm.
and he was a new guy, and I was like, because my experience with
Yeah,
like
yeah,
being a newbie
yeah,
and
yeah.
with Butch. I mean, she was a nice person, right? But when we were new, she wasn't that nice to us.
She was like intimidating and stuff.
Yeah, and she wouldn't talk to us. She would, like I don't know, maybe she was having a bad day or whatever. But I mean, she's not taking it out on us, but she wouldn't pay attention to us either. Like she wouldn't like really give us the time to
Yeah, but
learn.
she was always like that, though. You kind of
Yeah,
just have to
I know,
accept the
right? So
fact that
that's
that's
why.
how she
That,
was. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. So that's why I say that she's actually a nice person. But when we were starting out, I thought that she wasn't that nice because that was it. I was expecting to have a mentor that would be like, hey, okay, this is how you push, whatever. This is how you play it. This is how you like put the CDs, blah blah blah. And after that, just like, all right, so like, yeah, try to do it and whatever. But she wasn't like that. She didn't even teach us anything. She was just like there, and if she's having a bad day, she wouldn't pay attention to us. That
Yeah, yeah.
that was like I didn't want that to happen to me, and I didn't want to be like somebody who's like imposing on people who are new in the business. So I was like, all right. So when I had trainees and whatever, I'm like, yeah, sure. I'll like this is how you do it. This is how you play it. And I'm like, yeah, all right. You want freedom? Like, okay, I'll give you 30 minutes and that's yours. And I'm like, you think you're ready to talk? Yeah, talk. Like that's why I don't think I will be a good program director because I'm just like, yeah, you think you're ready to talk? Like, ready. Like, I wouldn't screen them for, like, all right, let me see if you can talk. Like, I wouldn't do that. Joe would do that. Like, other,
Yeah. But I
good
mean,
program directors would do
wouldn't
that.
you be
Me, I'm
like,
like, yeah, you think
wouldn't
you're
you be
ready? Let's
al-
go.
wouldn't you be
I'll
putting
let you
them in a
go.
position where they'll embarrass themselves on air if that's the
Well,
case? Because I
that's on
mean,
you, right? That's
no,
on,
no, no. But I
that's
mean,
not on
but I
me.
mean, but I mean, you know better. Like you know better. You have a different ear. You have a more discriminating ear than let's say they would. So it's kind
Yeah,
of
but
like
who am I to tell that person that he's not
that
ready?
you are the person of authority. You're the one with more experience. You're the one who's been there longer. You're the one you're the superior. So I'm not saying okay, Ice. He's there's Ice again, pulling a fast one on me. See, he's even like making his hand look like it's blurred, but he's actually like, here. Every time he does a post, like he freezes. There he goes. See, okay, Ice. I want to know if you're frozen, right? I want to know if you can still see me and I'm still moving about normally, or do I also kind of get all buggy? Did I get all buggy, or it's
No,
normal? Okay.
you were frozen.
So
I checked the
see,
internet. It
and
was
you were
fine.
frozen too. So, but from my end, at least I don't know. Cheryl, my sister-in-law, and Riza, and whoever is out there. Okay, who froze? Did I freeze or Ice? Because our audience, they're mostly Davao people, so maybe you froze from their end too. But anyway, all I'm saying is, I'm not saying like dictate what they have to do. Because I mean, for me, I'm on the same board with you. We're on the same boat. I want artistic freedom, especially it's you again.
Cheryl,
Yeah.
napigdapig na na. No, you know what, Cheryl?
That's my
No, no,
sister-in-law. That's my sister-in-law. That picture.
crap.
That's
No,
Aha's wife.
no.
So, anyways. So I was saying, I would love to do that too. Like if probably you were, let's say the newbie, or you were the junior jock, or you were the trainee under whatever, I would be like, yeah, I would definitely, let you loose on air because I think you're capable. And there were some who were capable already, but there were some where like,
That's what I'm telling you. I will not be a good program director because me, I'm just like,
yeah, yeah,
okay, you're
yeah,
ready. I'm ready. All right,
yeah.
go. Like
Yeah,
I'm like, all right.
yeah,
If
yeah,
you
but
embarrass
there's
yourself, you
but
embarrass
but there
yourself.
but there's something good in that though. Like for me, Don did that to me. Don was my program director. Mr. Bass was my program director, and he let me loose. Like he didn't. I got phone calls from different people who had like a different voice, and they were the ones correcting me. He would be like, "Hey, it's
You
thank you."
suck, whatever.
Yep.
Yeah.
No, 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 really, not really. They just corrected me like how to pronounce words, like how to pronounce it clearly for radio. It's like say not thank you, like say thank you. And Don never really did that to me. Don was like he was cool. He was like, okay, I know this guy. This guy can speak English. This guy, Don's like that's why I have this
I'd be like, really? Who got the mic, man? Who got the mic? Don't call.
That's why I have this loose cannon kind of thing, like you, which I had a hard time adjusting when I went to other radio stations. I mean, when I went to Monster, they have this poll question thingamajig, and they do a lot of talk there too. But it just wasn't my flavor, because they had poll questions, and you were kind of stuck with that poll question. You were
Silly poll question.
you were stuck with the poll question. I
Okay,
didn't,
here's
and that
how-
wasn't my
here's
question.
how it went down. Okay, here's how it went down. Okay, poll question for today. Because they're like scrolling on their phone, right? Texter 1235. She said, "Nope,
Dude,
nope. I
dude.
don't agree with you." All right, I think that's how it was.
Dude,
There
dude,
was no interaction. They were reading messages.
I think I was just
Time.
too old.
Takes
I was
a
just,
lot
no,
of
no, no.
extra time.
There's still a bit of interaction because what happens is like, for example, one of the poll questions was, what would be your porn star name? Like you could have a porn star name. What would it be?
I can move. I'm dancing. I'm dancing. Come on, come on. If it's me, it shouldn't be me. It can't be me. Are shit. Kidding me. Gotta be kidding me, man. Internet access. Are you shitting me? Fuck, fuck, fuck.
Dude, my Mac just like restarted.
The Mac restarted?
Yeah,
Let me
I think it downloaded an app or updated an app in the background, and it just
right.
like all of a sudden it just restarted. Like what the heck?
So Cheryl, who was it? Who was it? Who was it?
It was
Cheryl?
definitely me. It was definitely me. Cause
No,
my
let's look for an answer. If she says size, then now I'm like, yeah, gotcha. Liar.
Dapig. Yeah. So yeah. Anyways,
See,
yeah.
that's
Internet
when
moment.
somebody is lying. Ha, ha,
Yeah.
ha.
Okay.
No,
CJ's on board as well. So,
Ah.
anyways, where was I? So I was just saying, like that is I'm on the
All
same
right,
board with
okay.
you, dude. We're the same thing. I would want freedom too. I would definitely want creative freedom, but only to those who I think can hold their own. If I know somebody's gonna struggle on air, I'm not gonna, even if it's like a relative. Like if CJ,
here's the
if
thing,
CJ
here's the thing.
applied for a DJ and he's like, Ninong, can I be a DJ? I'm like, yeah, sure, I'll take you in. I'll take you under my wing. And he's gonna be impatient after like a week of training. Like, Nino, I can do my ad lib already. I can go on air. I want to talk. I want my friends to hear my voice because that's what everybody wants to happen. Everybody wants to announce to everybody that they're already in a radio station and they have to be heard. You can't just like, oh, nasa radio station ka, wala man. Yeah, you can't, wala man. Under training pa, play lang ng song. Yeah, greet you, right? So,
Shout out.
yes. So, and then I let him off.
Yeah, babe.
Yeah, I let him off the hook, right? Okay, go ahead. Off leash ka na, you can go on air. And he does his first ad lib. And he's good off mic. If it's mic's off, we're all good. Everybody's good. We can all like do our thing. But once you go on air, very few. It's like stage fright. You all can do better until it's your turn in the spotlight. But I don't experience stage fright. Iceman doesn't experience stage fright. I don't think he got nervous when he got on air. I didn't get nervous when I got on air either. But it's just I got so intimidated when I turned on the mic, and I knew that thousands, possibly thousands of people, or maybe even just hundreds, could actually be tuned in. And these are people from different walks of life. It's not like you're at an event where everybody there is like a comic book nerd, or everybody there is like Jologs, or everybody there is like there for flip top,
But
or
it's
everybody
even more
there.
scary because you can see them, you can see their reaction.
Yeah, yeah,
If they're somewhere and they're like you can't see their reaction, that would be totally fine with me.
yeah. I
That
get
was
what you're
like,
saying. I
right?
get what you're saying too. I get what you're saying too. But that would be like if it was my last day on air. But if it's like my first day to talk, and I know I'm trying to win people over, and I know I'm trying to make my mark as a broadcaster, and I screw it up the first opportunity I get, it's something that's overwhelming. Because, like I said, if it's live and you see the people, you can kind of, you can pretty much figure out who your audience is and what bracket they fall under. Mga social ba to? Mga masa ba to? Mga, are they young? Are they old? But if it's on air, like on radio, dude, you don't know if a senator is listening. You don't know if a taxi driver is listening. You don't know if a teacher is listening, or maybe, and you kind of just don't want to make an impression where their memory of your first words would be negative. Like, it's like you did it so poorly. And let's say, like, I let CJ off the hook, and CJ would be like, "Good evening, everybody." It's like he does something that he just like kind of panics and he screws him up. Because we've seen that in our junior jocks. Nang gigil, yung gigil, like, "Hey, good evening, everyone." They're gigil, they freak out, And that's not their natural speaking tone. That's not their natural ad-lib delivery. But because they're so overwhelmed, because they weren't ready, they get that experience, and it has a worse effect on them. Like, once they turn off the mic, they're like, "I'm never going to want to do that again. I'm never going to speak on the mic again." It happened to me. It happened to me. I'm supposed to do a time check. I forgot to give the time. So, can you just imagine if somebody did that? They're supposed to announce something and they forgot the announcement. So, it's hard. So you kind of, even though you want to give people freedom, you want to give freedom to people who kind of deserve it. Okay, CJ says, "I like to say I wouldn't do this, but there's going to be one part of me that will do it." Okay, in reference to what, CJ? In reference to being a DJ? That already happened to me on my hosting thing, and yeah, it sucks. Okay, what happened to you, Siege? Did you have stage fright? Can't imagine you having stage fright. Did you run out of words to say? Did you, what was that? What was it? Because, I mean, this is already like a live thing. But, Ice, are you saying hosting for you is tougher than on-air show?
No, not necessarily. All I'm saying is if you make a mistake on air, it will probably haunt you. But I mean, not seeing their reaction is like, all right, well, I mean, it will pass. You know what I'm saying? But if you see people's reaction, that you have a picture of it and it's more graphic, then it can haunt you, for a longer time compared to like just making a mistake and you don't really know that somebody was listening, or you could tell yourself like, oh, probably no one was listening, right? Until you meet somebody who's like, oh, you said this one time, like, somebody was listening.
Yeah,
Fuck
yeah,
that,
yeah.
right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
at least you can kid yourself, you can tell yourself that nobody was listening that time.
Unless somebody
But
brings it up.
yeah, until someone comes along and like, oh, I heard that.
Okay.
In contrast to if you saw somebody like reacting to like your blunder right in front of you. So I mean that would haunt you for, I don't know, like for years probably.
You know what's weird with me? I don't know if it's the same case with you. I'm not get intimidated, but I'm more conscious when it's like an intimate event. Like, if it's just like a small affair and there are only a few people there, I'm actually I'm more, I guess, conscious about my performance, when I host an event, rather than a huge event. Like, if it's a huge event, like if it's a Tanduay Rock Fest, or it's a freaking like, some major concert or something, or one of those things that we do at SM Entertainment City before, where we would host and we'd introduce a celebrity. I don't get intimidated with that. You know why? Because the spotlight's crazy. The lighting when you're on stage in a big event is crazy. You can't see anyone's face. because the light is so, I don't know what light they use, but the lighting is so like crazy because the stage has to be so well lit because it's a big event that you can't see anyone's faces. Like you just, the glare is there, and all you see are basically just silhouettes of people. So you don't get as intimidated. But if it's like a small event,
No,
which is only like 50 people, and they're all staring at you, and you're like right in front of them,
it's
that's kind of
different
more
with me.
terrifying.
It doesn't like crowd does not intimidate me. It motivates me. It inspires me. The bigger the crowd, the more pumped up I get. Like I
That's
see that I'm
good.
like, holy shit, this is nice. Like when I did that, when I was the one assigned to do the Kitchen Adal,
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. That's a big crowd.
the venue concert, and I was like so happy that Joe gave it to me or Mr. Ripper gave it to me. That was a full house, man. I
Mm-hmm.
was like, holy shit!
That was
All eyes
crazy.
are on. They weren't there for me. I know that they were there for Kitchen Adal,
And these were
but
cool people. These were the
yeah,
cool crowd. These were the cool
right,
crowd,
right.
right?
But you'll never see Kitchen Adal not unless you go through me first. So I
That's
have to
true.
grab the mic, talk shit, like give away shit, and all eyes are on me. So
That's
every
true.
time I go, so sometimes when like for example, I remember that event at USEP, MYMP concert. That
Mm-hmm,
was a full
mm-hmm.
house too. That was full. That was the crowd was awesome, and I don't think I got paid for that event. I volunteered
Really?
myself like I want to go there,
But you
and
enjoyed
Amy
yourself. You had
came with
fun.
me. I had free food or whatever. I didn't get any money there, but I was like saying like, dude, this will be a good exposure. I would be there in front of a lot of people before MYMP starts singing. I would be there with Amy, and we're like giving away stuff, and it's the voice it's my voice they will hear every time the backstage. Like, all right, this concert is brought to you by Nescafe, blah 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 blah, and of course your number one hit music station, Killer B 89.1.
So so
Iceman is on the mic.
so I gotta ask you.
Very good
So
exposure.
so you get a lot of satisfaction and joy and I guess self worth from because I'm different. Like I don't. It's work for me, man. Like I still see it as work. Like I don't. You gotta pay me to go up there and introduce people and stuff. I mean you. Because I don't see I don't see how I'm gonna benefit besides from the popularity and maybe it's gonna increase my professional fee because I get more popular. Are you after the popularity? Are you after the attention? Are you after the market, your marketability as an on air celebrity, or are you after
I
maybe making new friends after that said event? Because
again,
I'm
I don't really know, but I like doing it. So it could
re
be that I enjoyed attention. Yeah, I wouldn't say I don't enjoy attention. I enjoyed attention, and probably like marketing yourself. Like, well, I'm not really marketing myself because I'm not selling myself, and I don't want to make money. I mean, money is like the least of the things that
but
I want
but
in
how
life.
come you don't do like TikTok and stuff? I mean, if you want attention, that's where you get attention,
Dude,
dude. Like
that's not real. That's online attention. I don't want that attention. That's why like being doing podcasts and shit. I don't invest because there's like just so much time being invested on taking like all these videos and scenes and shit. I don't want that. I want like those live like things. Like like I would like I would even I would be more thrilled if I'm like like a band performer or something. Like if I'm whatever like with these like um
social media.
being a YouTuber, social media, it's I know like some people are doing it great and they're like doing cuts and shit. And they do a lot of editing and it's a lot of work. I don't have that energy. I don't have that energy. I have energy to go and see people. I have energy to do takes and whatnot. If it's like if somebody's shooting me and somebody's gonna edit it, not me. I don't want to edit it.
Yeah, yeah,
Like
yeah,
I don't want to do the work. I'm
yeah, yeah,
lazy that way. And
yeah.
well, you're lazy. Yeah, I am lazy. I am lazy. I would say I probably have some talent,
So
but I don't have
l-
the skills.
like
And
likes
I'm
and
lazy.
views online, it doesn't really bring you any satisfaction. You
No,
want
no,
that.
no.
You want to see the
I don't
reaction of the people like in real time,
yes,
like it
I
face
don't
to face.
see I don't get like some people are like, "Oh, I want more likes." I mean, I don't really like what you have 1,000 likes. It's just 1,000 likes. It's virtual. It's like somebody clicked it. Somebody could just click it and they don't really mean it.
True,
Like you
true,
could send a lot of links to other people, like, "Oh, please like whatever," and just
true.
out of like, "All right, I know this person," and like, "All right, I'll like it," but they don't really like
I
it.
get
They
you.
just
I get
click
you.
because it's like,
So
yeah, I
so
know,
you
like that's
do
what.
you do get satisfaction from that? Because for me, it's work. Like I mean, I enjoy it, especially if it's people I know. Like if I host a wedding of a couple that I know, or if I host for like a friend, or it's like, I'm very comfortable with. I enjoy it, but it still work because I still have to prepare for that event. It still takes a lot out of my time, the waiting time in preparation for it. Like I'd rather just be playing video games at home. I'd rather just be playing with my kids. I'd rather just be like going to the mall. There are a bazillion other things I'd rather be doing, and I really couldn't care less about the attention I get. In fact, I try to shy away from the attention because I feel like especially in the Philippines, the more attention you get, I'm not saying majority of it, but that's it sort of creates haters, or there's always negativity that follows it. I mean, rather than, let's say, bala na hindi ako sikat basta walang galit sa akin. I'm kind of like that. Rather than I'm
No,
popular,
I'm
but there
okay
are
with
people that
people.
have ill
Like
ill ill feelings towards me, for no reason.
I was talking to somebody at in school today, and I said like, yeah, I mean, that was part of my job, like being, being known to people, being, like people would know me, but
Yeah.
then it's like half of the people who knows me, they like me, but half of them hate me. And I mean, that's just it. You can't have the best of both worlds. Like there would be people who would like you, and there would be people who would hate you. And I've met those people who hated me, and you would always see that on their faces when they meet you. From the very moment you meet them, you know that this guy hates me, and they didn't need to say anything or whatever. Just from the reaction that you get from being introduced to them, I know that. Like, so I know who my haters are, and I know who the people that I'm not gonna get along with, right? So those people that I had like clashes with, I really knew from right from the beginning that there was something off, right? So it's just like, and there's no love lost because like, fuck that. I'm like, yeah, I'm never gonna like you anyway, and you're never gonna like me anyway, no matter what. Like
Yeah.
if you've already judged me, then that's the end of it. Like no matter what I do, you would
Yeah.
hate me because of the judgment that you already made, and
Yeah.
that doesn't really affect me because like it's always my dad would always say like, well, what's the worst thing that can happen? And then you're like, what? Are they gonna shoot you? Or are you gonna die? Like, well, we were talking about like, if you're in school and like you raise your hand and like you give the wrong answer, what's the worst thing that can happen? Like, you're gonna die? No, I mean, it's just like you're just gonna give the wrong answer. Well, it's not gonna kill you. So, but you learn from it, and when when you gain the confidence of like speaking in front of people or like in class or whatever, then you get to be better at it, and there would be people who would like you for
I
it, and
I,
there would
I
be
think
people who would hate you for it.
in
But those people who hate you for it, it's just like that's just the one of like the yeah, it's just part of life. Like
But
there
in,
would be
in certain
people who would hate you.
cases, it's beneficial to be popular. I get it. Like, for example, if you're a lawyer, right, you want to establish contacts so you can increase your client base and all that. Or if you're running for office and you're going to be joining politics, your popularity is definitely going to be needed. So whether it's good publicity or bad publicity, you're going to want that. If you're a celebrity, you're an
I don't
actress,
think it's
you want people to watch it.
popularity.
But
I don't think
but
it's
I'm,
popularity.
but if I have nothing to gain by it, and I'm already kind of fine with my, the people circle of friends I have, and I kind of don't really want to add anything. I mean, just based on my opinion, like, because I've never been in a situation where, I needed to establish a bigger contact base. Maybe as a host, maybe yeah, it helps, because it brings in more clients. But at the same time, there's only one me. So I'm still not going to be able to cater to everybody, and I'm still going to have to pick the ones that I think I can deliver the goods rather than just host for everyone and they don't really get who I am just because, they know me from wherever. So yeah, I get it. I get where that's coming from because my lolo being a lawyer, dude, he was a member of Kiwanis, Lions Club, Toastmasters. My lola was Optimist. I mean, I come
I don't
from
want to be a
that
member of those
dude.
things.
I
I don't want
come
to be
from
a
that
member of those
family.
things.
My mom was Rotary. My mom was Job's daughter. My
Yeah,
lolo
but
was
me,
Mason.
I don't want to be in those groups.
And I same here. I mean, it's not necessarily just the groups, but I'm just saying it's like I asked my mom about that because I got these offers. She's like, hey, I have friends who was like the president of
That,
Rotary or
that's
a friend. My mom's like
that's different.
JC's.
These people who are in there, they really want to do. I don't know for what reason, but they probably want to do
No,
something. Me,
most of them are in business or they're lawyers or they're because my lolo, like I said, went through that and I asked my mom about it. And my mom's like, Mom, what are these civic groups? What do you think about it? Because you're a part of a lot of them. And she said, you know what? If you want to establish your contacts, you want to you want to meet new people from whatever, or you want to, you're either in sales or you're either like I just said, you're a lawyer or something. then it helps because you will meet people that you otherwise wouldn't meet in your normal routine or your normal daily, whatever lifestyle. You'll meet new people joining these groups. I mean, you're kind of like forced to be together and converse with each other because of the group. It's not like you just bump into somebody and yeah, it opens doors. I mean, I can't because I mean, if I didn't join radio, I would not have met you. That would have been one thing already. And even radio, even the broadcast field, that's already a group. That's already like an organization. And I would not have met and made lifelong friends had I not joined the group. But like I said, that in itself already was like fine for me. So I don't really see the beauty or the charm of like being popular unless I really was in the business of like expanding my audience. And I know I was going to benefit from that financially, or at least my career was going to benefit from it. But when I left radio, the thing I missed about it was my expression whenever I did the show. Like that's what I missed about it. Not so much like, oh, I have 50 billion listeners. People know me. I bump into somebody. They say, hey, I watch your show. I appreciate that. But I guess it depends on the personality. Because, like, I don't know. I never really, like, it's weird because, like, my mom's outgoing and extrovert. My Lolo is an extrovert and definitely, joined all the club that existed and played every sport that he could. And I don't know if I got it from my dad, but my dad also, met heads of state, being a diplomat and stuff. So I don't know why I kind of like maybe because I was exposed to that at a young age and I had no want or longing for it or need for it. But it's like I actually avoid it. It's like, but when I'm at a party and I'm with you guys, I have fun. It's like, yeah, I crack jokes. We crack jokes. But when I'm getting the attention, I kind of don't want it because I always feel like when you get the attention, you're actually becoming more vulnerable, especially in this day and age. You allow yourself to be more vulnerable to people who might not have really the best intention for you. And for me it's not worth it. It's like if Kurt Cobain didn't get famous, right? And Nirvana did not get famous, he would still be alive today most likely, right? It's like he would just have a family
but he wouldn't be Kurt
yeah, but
Cobain.
he would be dead at 27, dude. You know what I'm
Yeah, but
saying?
he
It's
lived
like
his life.
no, but I'm not taking that away from him because
It would like if he's alive now,
that's
he'd
his
probably be
fate.
talking to you, and he'd be like, you know what? I should have died 27.
Nah, no,
at
no,
27.
no way, dude, no way. I mean, yeah, I lived my best years during my late 20s, sure, but no way, man. I mean, it's like no way. You no way. You don't want to be the topic. You want to be the one. You don't want to be the topic. I trust me. I mean, I know a lot of people say that, but then when they get themselves in trouble or they get themselves in a situation, it's gonna change your life. And not.
Here's the thing. I don't think it matters who he was. I think he would just like kill himself. I know people who are not rock stars and they kill themselves.
You have a point. You have a point. All right, you have a point. Unless he made a pact with the devil. Unless he made a pact with the devil. No, but I mean, he would not have been.
Years. I know some people who were nobodies, and they just killed themselves.
I know.
Popular.
And that's why they killed themselves because they were nobodies, Di man ako sikat. And then, sobra naman ako sikat. You know what I'm saying? It's like, make up your minds, people. What's up?
They're like these people are probably our common friend on Facebook, and there was this one person that my sister also knows, and she was like really shocked, like, oh, I didn't know that you're friends with his sister, and I was like, really, like, yeah, and nobody really saw it coming, and we didn't know that he was going through something, and all of a sudden he just killed himself, and
yeah, but
see, it was like
no, but. No, I'm not necessarily.
Like,
I'm not necessarily saying that Kurt Cobain wouldn't have done anything bad or whatever. He might have gotten run over. He might have, gotten sick or what. We don't know. I mean, he could still have died, maybe even younger than 27 if he did not become famous or become a rock star. I'm just saying, it exposes you to a lot of things that puts you more at risk than they're just you draw in more negative energy than positive energy. That's the way I see it. I think in case of being famous, most famous people I know, what do they do, right? The richest people the richest people in the world, what do? They live in private, right?
That's the price. Like that's why I really look up to Manny Pacquiao because he never cared. He was just like, yeah. Take as many pictures as you want. I don't give a shit. Like I like this thing, So Ryan Seacrest. See, like I think he talked about it on his show at some point that. The paparazzi, like that's why the paparazzi don't love him because like the paparazzi, they all right, take as many pictures as you want. Like, what do you need, right?
Yeah.
If
It
you're
doesn't make
running
it hard
away
for
from
them. It doesn't make it hard
yeah,
for them.
if you make it hard for them, the more they kind of like crave for you. Because you're like, no, I want to be private. I want to be private. But Ryan Seacrest's like, all right, yeah, I have nothing to hide. Come on, what do you need? What do you want? Right? So
Yeah.
they're
Well,
gonna get
that's
tired of you.
dude. That's a different level of fame. I'm just speaking about like calling attention to yourself, like in any way possible, like in any way possible. It's just like especially, and it's we're not gonna get
Dude,
fame
all
on a
right.
globe. We're not gonna get fame on a global
We're
level.
not
We're
gonna
gonna get
get no,
fame
we're
on a
not gonna
Davao
get
level, maybe at the most,
no,
right?
we're not gonna get that. But all I'm saying is like it's everything's part of it. Like if the moment I joined radio, that was already part of it. Like yeah, for all I mean, a lot of things could have gone wrong. I have a car with that big Iceman sticker. Like
People are gonna have
stuck
thrown
on
rocks
my
at it. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
They could have like like yeah, they could have done that. They could have like burned my car or whatever. That never happened. I mean, no, I mean, yeah.
You were that bad. I'm not saying like you have to be a bad person to get negative energy. I'm just saying
No,
just
I
the
mean
fact that you're out there, you become kind of like
that's what I'm
you know what
saying.
I'm
Like
saying? It's like
you're on people's radar, and I think that's
yes,
part of it.
that's
When
the proper
me,
term. You're on people's radar. That's right.
when I was doing it, like it wasn't even about popularity because I'm like, I'm not even sure if I get popular with those things, but it's more of like I enjoy doing it. Having the mic, talking on the mic, people hearing it and responding to it, that gives
Yeah.
me joy, right? Because
Yeah.
they respond to it. So that means, in a way, they like it. So I am doing something that I'm good at, I think the motivation comes from my dad telling us to be good at something. Because my dad never really cared about like academic excellence or whatever, but he would always tell us to be good at something. You have to be good at something
Mm-hmm.
and like really good at something. Like my brothers, like my brother in Canada,
Basketball. You get at
soccer.
basketball. What are you talking about?
He was I know he was really dumb as fuck, but he was really good at
Jeez.
basketball. My father didn't care about it. It was like you're dumb. I get it. It's fine. Just play basketball. And my father was happy with it. So he likes playing basketball. And I mean, he's only good at basketball, and he's not ashamed of it. He would like, all right, I'm a dum dum, but yeah, whatever. But we would call him a dum dum, and he'd be like, yeah, like he wouldn't even care. So I think it's coming from that sort of like
Upbringing.
upbringing that
Yeah, yeah.
my dad would say like you have to be good at
Probably.
something, and you have
Probably.
to find your passion, and it's one of those things that I developed in life when I started reading and I started public speaking and I started talking in front of people and I have an audience, and that's why I was motivated to be I think a cell group leader at a church or something because now I'm like in hindsight I think it was like having an audience when you're talking and people listening, but then eventually it evolved into like I became a radio DJ. Like then you have a larger audience. Then part of it you become a host and you read stuff. Like you entertain people from different industries because I had like rock, like rock bands.
Yeah.
I had
We
my
met so many
company, like
celebrities,
solo,
dude.
yeah, so many
We met
celebrities.
so many celebrities. I mean, but what we went through, it's like from we met them when they were sikat, and then nalaos na lang we were still in radio, right? Like bands like Cushay, bands like Hale, celebrities like the Viva Hot Babes. They all went through the station. We all got to talk to them. We all met them at the peak of their careers when they came to Davao, and we all rubbed elbows with them. And a lot of them are normal citizens now. Wala na, like they're no longer in the spotlight. And not that we are still in the spotlight. I mean,
The
but
late
when
who was that guy? The late
um
because of you, what Martin?
yeah, Chris not Chris Martin, Keith Martin.
Keith Martin,
Keith
right?
Martin was like
Right.
Iceman's best friend. All I heard from him was like, Iceman, hey, what's up, Iceman? I
Man to
mean, the
me.
guy died already. I mean, he passed away. God bless his soul. Rest in peace. I mean, we saw all these people just come in and out of the station, and we met them, and sometimes we'd see them more than twice, and they'd remember us. They'd be like, yeah, we'd see them often. And we were consistent, and we were still doing the radio thing. So we didn't really have like a peak and volley of kind of our career. We were always kind of like just there, still part of the entertainment spectrum, but not necessarily the spotlight was on us. And I think, yeah, I enjoyed that. I'm not gonna be a hypocrite and say I didn't enjoy it. Of course, I enjoyed it. I mean, I met my wife through it, you know. Like, but the funny thing is, she didn't really date me because she knew me from radio. She knew you. She did not know me. So, I guess I can't really give credit for the radio career just for the mere fact that yeah we met at that place through you. Maybe the radio career gets credit for that, but it's not like she was a fan and that's why she decided to date me because like oh I listened to Rod. No, it wasn't like that. But I did benefit from other there were other people who I did get to know because of radio. So I'm not gonna be a hypocrite. I mean I do enjoy a part of it. All I'm saying is it's kind of like I don't know what it is, man. That's why I can't really be a politician, and because my mom warned me about that, and my mom said that people are gonna be at your door, people you don't know will be asking stuff from you, people will be offering you their ideas, people are gonna be asking you to be the ninong and ninang of their children, people are gonna be asking you to be the ninong and ninang of their kasal, and my mom's like, I don't have like I'm a people person, but ayoko ng plastikan, and that's what my mom said. Because she was offered, to run for consular at one time, and she was like, "Ayoko ng plastikan." Because I asked her, I said, "Mom, why don't you run for? Why don't you be a consular? You have a lot of good ideas. You're outgoing. You're whatever. You have a lot of people. You know a lot of people." She said, "Ay, ayoko." Because one of the consulars that we have now actually went to the house and asked her not, they'll run together, and she ran and she won. But I'm not gonna mention who it is, but. And my mom's like, no, because and I said, why? Because I've seen my politician friends wala pa silang makeup, di pa nakahilamos. There are already a buttload of people outside their house asking for donations. Kaya namatay ang anak, kailangan ganito, palubong, all that stuff. And my mom's like, she has a charitable heart. She did a lot of her lawyer work pro bono, but she just can't do the plastikan aspect of it. And I think that's probably for me that kind of you kind of have to have that in you if you're going to be dealing with a volume of people who know you or will approach you. And I think you can't be genuine to everyone. It's hard. It's hard to be genuine to everyone. If it's people who walk in the radio station and there's only 5 students, that's fine. I'll remember their names. I'll remember their faces. But if it's like a lot of people, and that's exactly why when you follow a celebrity or a famous person like on social media and they only have a few followers, they usually respond to everyone. Whoever messages them, whoever comments, they'll always like respond. Oh yeah, thank you. But if it's already like a major celebrity, like Ann Curtis level or whatever, they're not even. There's just no connection anymore. There's just no connection anymore. And I think for me, it's like, okay, Ann Curtis gets paid a lot of money for that though, and it's not necessarily anymore for the reasons that you had. That's why you kind of want the audience, because for you, you genuinely really want to meet people and you genuinely really enjoy having an audience out there. But if it's like blank faces already, that for me probably, that's why the DJ thing was like the perfect career, because we were popular, kind of known, but not necessarily to the point where people would have an opinion about us specifically, or that we were like what Joe would say, second class celebrities. Was that what we were? Would you agree with that? Were we second class celebrities
Well,
as
I don't
DJ?
even consider myself a celebrity, but I mean, we had a sort of status in terms of like us being radio hosts in our city. So we have that certain status. I wouldn't say celebrity because I never really considered myself a
Dude,
celebrity.
somebody
I mean,
asked to have a picture taken with you. Somebody asked you to sign on their notebook. Dude, that
well,
come
yeah,
on,
I mean,
right?
well, they're fanboying or whatever. But I don't. I never really considered myself like somebody. I would consider myself as somebody who's I call them like I made new friends. I would say that. Like, I mean, I made new friends today. So, because I mean, it's not, I'm not this guy on TV or something. And if they like what I do on the radio, they listen to it because they're having fun. Then I'm really happy about it because I'm also having fun. That's what makes my job easy. I
I
love
don't
the
care what
job.
I says. You're all celebs either way. See, that's from CJ. Come on, you're a celebrity, dude. Come on.
Well. That's
Okay,
how they
did
look
you
at it.
ever
That's
approach any of the
how I.
TV people? Did you ever approach any of these TV people and ask for their autographs?
I never did.
See, there you go.
I never did. But I asked them for a picture together. so that would still count as like an autograph. Because oh, can I take a picture with you guys? Then, but
Like
then
local TV people, like
I'm
local.
no, I never did that. But with people visiting us, and I would be sneaky about it, like, oh,
Yeah.
it's for the station. Let's take a
Yeah, same
picture,
here. I did that too. I did that
right?
too. Come on, come on.
I never really asked for whatever, like outside. It was always in the station. Like, okay, let's take a photo. This for the station, and then being sneaky about it. Like, yeah, right.
As the Viva Hot Babes, it's like oh my god, was that German chick? I keep forgetting.
Jen Rosendahl,
Jan Rosendahl and was the
right?
other one
Jen
that
Rosendahl and
they
Ella B.
were and braless. They were dude. Jan Rosendahl was braless. That I remember that because I was
hard on that.
I was at the station, dude. I was at the station. And they were hanging around like
I have to make a.
she was
confession.
wearing like a string, right? She was wearing like this string on top, and
Dude.
and she was like her boobs were like kind of hanging, kind of, because they were like she
I think
wasn't
that was
wearing
the
bra.
hardest. That was the hardest. The
Oh my god, I was
the
like,
hardest climax
I'm like,
of my life.
dude,
Because I actually came while doing the radio show.
It's
and
like-
I couldn't like do the fuck. I couldn't do it because I'm doing the freaking interview, and I'm actually coming. I am not kidding. I was
Dude.
like, I went to I went to the bathroom,
Dude.
after the interview, and I was like, holy shit.
dude. All I'm saying is, all I'm saying is, we all had that. Like, I don't know if I know I was there. You obviously you were there. You did the interview. I mean, you were, I was there just for the sole purpose of the fact that the Viva Hot Babes were there. I wasn't even on my shift, and I was there. Like, what the heck? I wasn't even on my shift, and too when there's something's up because when you park your car, the manong guard will always tell you, "Uy, no, si Kuan sa taas." They'll always say like a celebrity was upstairs or whatever, and you go running, right? And I don't know what's up with those girls, man. They were not braless, for crying out loud. I could just imagine, like, if you were the driver of the rent-a-car and you were like looking at the rearview mirror all the time. I was at their peak, but okay, all right. So I'm not gonna be a hypocrite. Okay, I enjoyed the experience. I savored the experience, but I'm just kind of like, I just don't want, because how like sometimes let's say you and your wife or whoever your significant other, you'd be in the car, and you'd be like talking about random popular people, like si ano pala, yung artista na may anak pala sa labas, may ano pala, and you always like, how do you know this? Is this even a fact? Oh, yung si ganito, yung politiko na ito, may ganyan pala, may kabit, ganyan. It's like I'm not thinking that I'm gonna be at that level where other people will be talking about my.
Would you get affected? Would you get affected about
Of
that?
course,
People talk about you?
dude. Of course,
All right,
if it's
okay.
not true, if it's not true, yes, of course. I do not want people to look at me with discriminating eyes when they, especially if it's not
probably
true,
got used
right?
to it. I probably got used to it because I just don't care. Like a lot of people have, have probably said a lot of things about me, and most of them are not true. And
And they don't have to worry about you because you will tell them.
I know.
They don't-
okay,
they don't have to-
case in point, Don. I'm sorry. It was like, dude, I thought that you were this guy because I think he heard a lot of stories about me.
Negative
It
things.
was like, oh, yeah, it was like, oh, you're this cool guy. I'm like, oh, Dan Marley. All right.
Okay,
My
this
guy.
is a rare card. You know why?
Why?
Where have you seen a card like a Fleer basketball card where there's like one player on the other side and there's another player on the other side?
That's
I mean,
funny,
what the heck, right? Dan Marley and Penny Hardaway in one card. So
I think that was like from like what year was that? I think my brother had that. Like
95, 96. 95,
Alvin
96.
had those cards.
Oh,
He
yeah,
had-
for
he had
sure,
tons
for
of
sure.
Reggie Miller cards. He had a ton of Reggie Miller cards.
Oh, was he a Reggie Miller
He was a
fan?
Reggie Miller fan.
Who were you a fan of back then? Who was your favorite player?
Like, I was a Shaq fan, but yeah, Penny. I was a Penny fan.
Oh yeah, Penny
But-
was incredible.
Yeah, but then I think he got injured and he kind of like sort of disappeared. But yeah,
I was an Iverson fan when he came out. I was just Alonzo Mourning because they both went to Georgetown, and Georgetown is in Washington D.C. and Washington D.C. is like a city, Virginia, whatever. But yeah, so that's anyway. Yeah, so yeah. At the end of the day, at least we pulled off a show, and I think we're gonna have another one
do you have
tomorrow.
a gig? Do you have a gig on not? Okay,
Hold on.
Tomorrow, like
Wait, let me check.
do you have a gig on Friday on Saturday? Because tomorrow's like I had a friend who asked me to go
Then we can
on
do
a
Saturday.
night out. Yeah, Saturday, right?
We'll do Saturday.
I
Yeah.
didn't want to go out because, like, oh man,
But
it's
I might have to do Saturday at 9 p.m. because the kids have a
9
Halloween
p.m.
party.
like
Yeah, they have a
9 p.m.
Halloween party in the
Like
neighborhood.
10 to
So
11.
we
Right,
have to do the. I have to take them to the clubhouse and
right.
have their fill there, and then come back home. And hopefully the wifey's home by then. We can do the
9
show.
p.m. is
Cause
perfect. 9
yeah.
p.m.
All
is
right.
perfect.
All right. So tomorrow you have something, and then tomorrow. So we'll do Saturday, right? 9
Yeah,
p.m.
we'll do Saturday 9 p.m.
Okay.
That's the
Guys,
plan.
join us. All right, Saturday night. At
Right.
least we pulled off a
So
show.
people join us, right? So yeah, after a long hiatus, like do you call it a hiatus?
We
It's
were
been a
like
long time.
the nappy boys. I mean,
No,
Ice
I
got
mean, yeah,
sick. I got
right.
preoccupied. So yeah, you know.
And yeah, it's because it's the change of season now. Like from extremely hot to now, it's like
What's the
it's
weather
getting
there? What's the
hot,
temperature?
dude. It's like 15, 16 right now. So it's
Holy
like
crap! That's
it's
pretty
getting
cold
there.
already. Yeah, there's
It is
smoke
pretty
coming
cold.
out of your mouth already, right?
Not yet, not yet, not
Not
yet.
yet. Okay, not yet.
But
Not yet. Okay.
but every time I finish playing basketball, like you can feel the chill now, and you can feel the ball not not sticking in your hands anymore
Got it.
because you can't grip it because of the weather. I played last Saturday. I played with the with my allergic rhinitis, and I couldn't grab the ball. It was like I have to like constantly touch my bandana to have like a sort of like to have a grip,
Moisture. Yeah, moisture.
right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you can't grip the ball. So people miss layups and easy shots. So it's really it's crazy. So yeah, it's because of that like health's kind of like sort of like not stable right now. But yeah,
Got it. Got
once
it.
we get adjusted to the cold, then it's probably fine
Yeah.
from then on.
Basically, the weather there is utog now, right?
Utog now. All right, utog now.
Not utog later.
Well, it will be utog later too. After we yeah
Piting
after we
utog
finish our
now.
business here.
Utog now, oy.
Utog
Utog now
now,
ka.
uy, utog later yan. All right, okay, guys, we'll see you on Saturday at 9
Saturday
p.m.
night, yeah, 9 p.m.
Thanks a lot for joining
Thank you for
us, and
joining.
those who like the and Mama Arlene. All right, what's up? And really, as
Utog
much as you
later.
can.
Iceman's gonna be utog later.
All right, well, all
Utog
right, well,
ganina. Utog ganina.
utog ganina, utog karon,
Utog,
utog later.
utog unta.
Oh my God, utog hangtod
50-50.
ugma. All right. Okay, so Saturday, 9 p.m. It's a date. Thanks a lot. Really appreciate it. Rod Rodriguez and
Bye
Iceman. This
guys.
has been
Yeah.
the OK Show on a Thursday, and we are out. Good night.